Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. And we are back. I am back with another interview, win interview that is Women That Inspire and Nurture. And today we have a very, very special lady with us sharing her life story. To give you background about the lady, she is a Bengali and she was born and raised in New Delhi. She is a doctor. She has a doctorate degree in Nano-Biotechnology and she's graduated from Swinburne University in Melbourne. She's currently working with Wheeline Corporation and lives in Melbourne. She is a founder and host of a Melbourne-based podcast called Coconut Chats. And in this, she addresses taboo topics in the South Asian community. Along with this, she's a blogger, she's a mature photographer, she's a public speaker, and a wonderful, wonderful daughter. So today, she has a love for dance as well, and she is a mental health advocate. She is today going to come here online with us and share her story, which will help us to understand about how she transit how her journey from Delhi to Melbourne, and I believe she completes 10 years this year in Melbourne, and how she started her podcast and all of her journey she's going to come here and share with us. So Chris, are you here with us?
Hello, everyone. Afternoon, Shraddha, and thank you so much for having me on the platform.
Thank you so much, Chris, for being here with me. And I have given a very short introduction, but we would love to know more about uh, how your journey has been. Like you are the founder of the podcast Coconut Chat, and you know how this whole chat podcasting, your stay in Melbourne, how did that journey happen? If you could share with us.
It's a long story because, as you mentioned, it's been 10 years, but I'll try my best to kind of put it in a curve, a little summary so that it's not too boring and long for your listeners. So I came to Melbourne in 2013 when I kind of got a scholarship, a fully funded scholarship to pursue my PhD from Swinburne University. So that was my first stint stepping outside the country. And then I was doing my studies and everything, and then I started dancing because I'm a trained Indian contemporary dancer as well. But then, as we all know, we were bogged down by a pandemic called COVID-19 in 2019. I don't know if many of your listeners are aware, but Melbourne was hit by some of the severe lockdowns in the world. Like we had around close to 7-8 lockdowns. So it was during the first lockdown when I was just sitting by myself, and I thought, why not create a podcasting platform myself? Because all along when I was in school, I'd always wanted to become a journalist. So that spark of speaking up and debating and extempo was always there. And then I decided, okay, I will create an opportunity for myself where I get to determine what topics I need to speak about, right? So that was how the idea was conceived. And then I have to, at this point, thank my two very good friends who are also my co-host, Harita Gandhi, who's in New Zealand, and Shomita Kaur, who's also in Melbourne. I went out to them. I said, hey, girls, you know what? I want to do this. Do you want to come on board? And within a split second, they're like, yes, we're on board with you. So that is how we started the journey. And it's been 2.5 years, Shraddha. So over these many years and these many episodes, we dealt with marital rape, abortion rights, transgender rights, mental health. And speaking with so many people has just kind of opened a different horizon to me. Like first, earlier, the world was very limited in a way. But
Yeah.
speak with such amazing people who've got such amazing journeys in their lives. I'm like, wow, this is a blessing, because how else do you get to meet so many people, right? So that is my journey. So as of now, I'm also kind of doing several chat shows across Melbourne and Sydney and Brisbane. I have my own dance group. I do this Coconut Chats. It's like my child. It's like my child, and work, and that's it. That's like my little life in a nutshell.
Wow, amazing. So if you could just share through your journey, that one virtue that you hold really close to your heart,
Right.
and that you really would want to share with our audience today?
I would love to talk about, there was a time in 2015 when I didn't know the depth of the word depression, but I could feel something was wrong with me. I had stopped combing my hair, my appetite was gone. I started to stay very, glum and off mood. But every day I had to be at work as well, because that was the last year of my PhD. It was very, very crucial that I be at work in the lab. So that time, my family was also not very aware of how to deal with someone who's saying that, Mama, you know what, I don't feel like eating. Yeah, I don't feel like, because I had long hair till here because I'm a dancer, right? That was the first time when I realized that this can be happening to anyone, to you, to me, to anyone. This is not as stigmatized as we make it to be. So one virtue that I realized through my journey is empathy, right? I was sympathized, but I wasn't empathized enough. Like, because obviously in that time, my parents were more focused, my family was more focused कि तुमको PhD खत्म करनी है, focus on your that, focus on that. ठीक है, तुम्हारा mood off है, ठीक हो जाए, music सुन लो, बाहर चले जाओ. But it's difficult for any parent, I also believe, to kind of comprehend the fact कि मेरे बच्चे को कोई problem है, right? And when that child is miles away. So I just want to stress through your channel, Shraddha, empathy is very, very needed, especially हमने COVID देख लिया है, mental health on a high time. So people are struggling silently क्योंकि लोगों के पास कोई होता नहीं है जाने के पास, कोई सुनने को. हम बोलते रहते हैं, हम बोल सकते हैं, बट मेरी सुनने की कैपेसिटी शायद उतनी नहीं है, आपकी भी नहीं होगी. तो आज की डेट में प्लीज एम्पथाइज विद पीपल अराउंड यू. लोगों को आपकी सिंपैथी नहीं चाहिए, लोगों को आपका टाइम, थोड़ा सा अटेंशन. अगर आप किसी को ये बोल दें, श्रद्धा, आई अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट यू मस्ट हैव बीन गोइंग थ्रू, आई एम ऑलवेज हियर फॉर यू, बस इतना लोगों को सुनना होता है. सो दैट वन थिंग दैट आई रियली वुड लाइक टू काइंड ऑफ एडवोकेट एंड हाईलाइट, प्लीज एम्पथाइज. दैट्स इट.
I now understand what you're saying, empathy, but there was a time in my life where I did not know what empathy means. And to be very honest, when somebody told me you just need to empathize, I was clueless. I like, kya karna hai mujhe? Because we know how to sympathize. Oh, it's so bad. You had to be, you had to go through something like this. And, I feel so, I know it's so terrible to, you kind of, how to sympathize, but empathy is not taught. And I think that is primarily because our parents also don't know how to empathize. If I can be as candid as I can, because our parents know how to sympathize. It's okay, beta, aisa hote rehta hai. We learn all of that from, but we don't know how to empathize. So can you help the audience understand difference between sympathy and empathy, and how can any tips, which you can also share?
I think मैं ये तो नहीं कहूँगी बहुत आसान है, लेकिन this is a process, this is a procedure. चाहे आप parent हो या चाहे आप हम में से कोई हो who's struggling through a difficult phase, sympathy ये है कि मैं बहुत छोटा सा example दे रही हूँ कि आपका you've lost a pet, right? And you come to me and you tell me, Chris, you know what, I've lost my pet. He was so dear to me. And I tell you, oh my God, Shraddha, I'm so sorry. आपके साथ पता नहीं अब क्या बोलूं, but all of that is sympathy. But if I tell you कि Shraddha, it's okay, do you want to talk about it? How are you feeling? आपको कैसा लग रहा है? आप मुझसे कुछ कहना चाहते हो? Let's go out for a cup of coffee. Yeah, let me call you. Let me call you on Zoom. आप मुझे बताओ, मैं यहाँ सुनने को तैयार हूँ. I will listen to you. That is empathy. Obviously, I can't feel that exact loss that you had because it was your pet. I'm just generalizing, right?
Correct.
एक comfort, एक होता है ना, giving you a shoulder to not try upon, but to rely upon कि ये मेरा एक दोस्त है. If I call them at any point of time, they will just listen. और मैंने ना श्रद्धा ये देखा, शायद हम सब उस भीड़ में भाग रहे हैं, किसी के पास सुनने को टाइम नहीं अभी. सब होते हैं, summarize your story and be going with it. That is so detrimental to our mental health, क्योंकि जो सफर कर रहा है ना श्रद्धा, उसके दिमाग में और ये बैक स्टेप हो जाता है कि यार मेरे को सुनने वाला कोई है ही नहीं. Who do I talk to? Well, हर किसी के लिए opening up to a therapist is not that easy, especially in a white country जहाँ आपके therapists come from a whole different mindset. यहाँ पे definition of family relationships are completely different. what we harbor in our
Yeah.
वहां अगर आप बस किसी से इतना बोलो कि आई एम हैप्पी टू लिसन टू, आप मुझसे, I'm always there for you. I can understand. I'm not sorry that this happened, but I can understand what you must be going through, and please feel free to open up to me. That is what I mean by it. As simple as.
Wow, that's so simple and so easy, but I'm sure it takes a lot of effort, because I know, I've tried to implement empathy in my life, and a lot of times initially I used to struggle with it,
Yeah.
because we all come with our baggages of judgments, and our own baggages of
Right.
putting things in the right and the wrong buckets. So
Yeah.
so again, I think of the important trait which you can help me highlight is, while you're being empathetic, because we're talking about empathy,
Right.
while we're being empathetic to people, it's very important that we also be non-judgmental and a better listener,
Of
right?
course. Yeah. And one more thing, Shraddha, if I may, एक और चीज जो मैं ऐड करना चाहूंगी कि sometimes ऐसा हो सकता है कि you might have to unlearn some things that you've learned all your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Difficult than learning things. आपको शायद कुछ और सिखाया गया है, and given the way that we are culturally so diverse, that happens, right?
Yeah.
लेकिन point पे आके ना, you have to be open to unlearning things.
Right.
तो वो भी, that is also a component of empathy. आप तभी empathize कर पाओगे जब आपके mind में उसकी जगह है कि हाँ, ये जो बोल रहे हैं, that is important to them. So let me just shed my load, whatever I'm loading, and learn from them. What are they trying to tell?
Yeah.
It's easier.
Yeah. So I think this is also, like, I can, again, the reason I'm taking back my example is because I can so connect the dots, and maybe, it can help you also to kind of share more light on this.
Yeah.
There was a time when I used to put out things in the right bucket and the wrong bucket, that, okay, this person did like this, so he's a right person. And then
Right.
if similar situation, but there came a time for me where my mentors told me that, what, Shraddha, sometimes you just have to see it from a third person's perspective, which is not your perspective, which is just like a neutral perspective. Don't put that person in any relationship,
Right.
in any, don't look at it, judge it, or maybe don't look at it from a relationship perspective. Look at it from a woman's perspective or a man's perspective.
Right.
Like, a lot of times we are not able to empathize with our mothers. I don't know if you can relate to this or not, but because she's a mother, and we have been so drilled down that mothers are supposed to do this, mothers are supposed to do that, but can we just not forgive our mothers sometimes and say that, oh, she's also a woman, she also at a point didn't know? Because I meet so many of my clients, and they tell me that, what, my mother has, when I was growing up, I have seen like this behavior from her, my father was like this. And it's not easy as an individual to just let go of something that you're holding against somebody. So anything on this, can you share some light on this?
जो आपने कहा श्रद्धा, that's very very relevant. मैंने जो किया है of late, obviously because I'm 35, right? थोड़ा बहुत देख लिया है. I've stopped bucketing things because I've realized कि you can't put people in boxes or buckets. Each person has their own journey. You talk to them, don't judge them. Just try to feel their journey and respect with what they have gone through, right? And with parents, I'm spot on with you. क्योंकि पहले मुझे भी कहीं ना कहीं ये रंजिश थी या कहीं दुख था कि यार आई एम द ओनली चाइल्ड, एंड आई एम क्लोज टू माय पेरेंट्स, आई एम वेरी ओपन विद देम. ऐसी कोई चीज नहीं कि मैं बाहर हूं तो कोई चीज छुपी है. आई एम वेरी ओपन. तो एक टाइम में मुझे लगता था व्हाई कांट दे कनेक्ट कि आई एम टेलिंग देम कि मुझे भूख नहीं है, मुझे डिप्रेशन है. देन केम अ पॉइंट व्हेन आई रियलाइज्ड इट्स ओके, दे आर आल्सो टेकिंग देयर टाइम टू प्रोसेस द जर्नी विद मी. उनको ओवरनाइट तो ये पता नहीं था ना कि हमारी बेटी के साथ ये हो जाएगा, और सम इज ऑफ द चार्ट्स. सो नाउ वी आर ट्राइंग टू वर्क ऑन दैट, बट आई एम आल्सो ट्राइंग टू अनलर्न कि पेरेंट्स दे आर ओपन टू डूइंग सम थिंग्स दैट मे और मे नॉट सिट राइट विद यू. ठीक है, गुस्सा है, बट कम्युनिकेट. अगेन आई वुड से कि आप गुस्सा अंदर मत रखो बिकॉज़ इट जस्ट बॉटल्स अप. टॉक टू, बोल दो कि मुझे ये चीज अच्छी नहीं लगी, व्हाट कैन यू डू अबाउट इट, व्हाट कैन आई डू. ऐसे रास्ते आते हैं when parents and you obviously being from different generations, you'll be like, ठीक है, this is your point of view, this is mine, let's just agree to disagree. But that communication जहाँ नहीं होती है, that is most of us Desi families, we don't talk. कभी डर से, कभी respect से, we don't communicate, और वो ना either sides को affect करता रहा. So now I try to unlearn things, and I'm also giving space to my parents. I tell them, जिस दिन mood off होता है, I'm very open. I tell them, Mommy, I'm not in the mood. Can I please call you later? Now, after all these years, she has also come around. She's like, you take your time, I'll call you. But I know that they're always worried. Like, now the perspective has changed. They are open to the fact that something like mental health, depression is very, very important. Let's just give her the space. So that has taken a while, long time. But keep trying at it. That's what I was trying to get at.
Amazing. So tell me, any tips that you can share with the audience here on, how can they be empathetic to different people? Like sometimes people who are very close to you, the challenge could be you cannot be empathetic. Like I had this major challenge. I couldn't be patient with my mother, because like we're so close. And, as a child, I've always been very open and expressing my, displeasure to her, or maybe my frustration to her, but I have really worked through it in terms of doing that. So this is just one aspect that I'm talking, but what I'm trying to here highlight is that where people, how can you be more, what are the tips that you can share when somebody is very close, somebody who's a stranger, somebody who is a work colleague, and somebody who is maybe your spouse, like that, maybe if you could just give out some tips, because that's what will help people to kind of.
I'll try.
Yeah.
When you mention spouse, I'm not married yet, so I don't know agar main wahan pe mashwara दूं, that will be an appropriate.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is spouse means a companion, or maybe somebody who's very close to you, where you have a very high trust pass is what I mean.
See, firstly, if it's your immediate family, like parents, you have to obviously understand two things, कि उनका generation थोड़ा अलग है, and you have to give them some time to unlearn their own knowledge also. मैंने ये भी देखा श्रद्धा, sometimes a lot of our parents, they are suffering from their own intergenerational trauma, which is still unresolved. So आप ध्यान में रख के, then you have to kind of circumscribe around it. कि ठीक है, give it time. If it's your companion or partner, I think nothing's worked better than a cup of coffee and communication. कि भाई, I'm feeling low, आपकी वजह से हुआ है या नहीं हुआ है, can we please talk about it? And if you feel that that person is not opening up, थोड़ा वक्त आपको हर चीज को देना पड़ेगा. Give some time to your partner and be open about that as well. Can you please listen to me? I'm trying to talk to you. Can you please take some time, work on this issue? Because otherwise I'm concerned this might escalate. The more you're open, the more I think it's easier for the other person to also understand कि ये क्या बोलना चाहता है. Work colleague, obviously there are certain guidelines आपको जो workplace पे follow करना पड़ता है. You can lend an ear, लेकिन अगर आपको लग रहा है कि इससे ज़्यादा it might kind of get into the HR domain, then obviously you tell them, look, I'm more than happy to listen to you, but I think what you're telling me is better managed if you go to a professional. And if a stranger comes to you, Shraddha, I think as a person, I'm always open ears to anyone who wants to talk. अगर किसी का मैं पोस्ट भी पढ़ती हूँ ना, आपने भी देखा फेसबुक में ऐसे बथेरो ग्रुप्स हैं, people say I'm feeling very depressed or maybe suicidal, I want to just, I always give them, look, I'm here for a non-judgmental chat, please let me know, I can call you. मैं उन्हें नहीं जानती, वो मुझे नहीं जानती. I think strangers के सामने open up करना is one of the best things. I find it very easy because वो आपको जज नहीं करते. आप किसी के सामने open up करोगे ना, वो पहले judgment शुरू कर. So the only thing I would like to tell is please have an open ear or an open heart. Try to listen to people because it's a very difficult world, especially after COVID and all that. We are going through very crazy times. So please don't judge and keep an open mind. That's all. Life is simple. That's it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing these tips. This whole series is dedicated because we just yesterday was Women's Day, and this series is like a 5-day celebration of Women's Day that I've been doing it on my channel. So what is it that one message that you would want to pass out to women out there on being women?
Okay. I'll keep it very short because मुझे लगता है आपकी जितनी भी guests हैं, they'll give all their views. So this is like my 2 cents. This year's Women's Day theme is Embrace Equity. So to all the women out there, I would just tell that don't strive for equality, strive for equity. Because we were never meant to be equal to males. We have our different places in the society. We just want our equal rights, and that is equity. So if you have a voice, keep shouting for your rights till you get them. so that you not only drive yourself, but all the other women around you who don't have that voice. That makes us women is we have that power and never feel that you are inferior to anyone else. That's it.
Amazing. Just one thing I would want to kind of add on, which is a follow-up question, and that is when you say equity, because a lot of my audience is back in India, is from India, and in India, we've always understood what equality means, but we don't understand what equity means. So if you could kind of elaborate a little when you say that equity.
ये शब्द फेमिनिज्म है, like I'm a feminist, right? लोगों को लगता है कि जो feminist है, they hate men. But ऐसा नहीं है. We do not hate men. We love the men who are in our life, right? लेकिन हम what we try to fight for is औरतें अपने हक के लिए जमाने से लड़ती आ रही. हमारे पहले generations को तो पता भी ना था they had these rights, right? Now we are aware. Equity is when I am not trying to be equal to my partner. He has a certain role in the household. I have a certain role in the household. I'm trying to be at the same level. At the same level as in, अगर आप 10 household काम कर रहे हैं, I should also be doing 10 to support him. And that same behavior should come from him as well. Obviously, when you talk about bringing a child, you can do it. I can do it, right? So we are not equal that way. But when I have a child, is he doing enough as a father? That's what I'm claiming from my partner, that give me that equity. मैंने आपका बच्चा तो पैदा कर दिया. Now you need to put in equal efforts to let me know that I am there in this game with you. That is what I'm talking about.
All right. So again, I'm just taking up your point and kind of simplifying it so that people who are hearing this can kind of absorb this better. Is like continuing with your example that you have a baby, as a couple, you have had a baby, and say today is the day when the mother is completely exhausted because of all the work that has been going around. So the father can chip in and, kind of say that, okay, you rest, I'll put the baby to sleep. Or maybe, I will do the sponging of the baby, or maybe I'll change the diaper, whatever. So that's what exactly equity means, right? Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Chris, for explaining it so beautifully. Thank you so much for being here with me on my channel today. And, I wish you loads and loads of luck for your podcast. May it grow by leaps and bounds. If you would love to, because what you've shared throughout is amazing. And I'm sure more of this content goes out on your podcast. If you would like to, inform my audience about your podcast, then please do it right now so that anybody who can benefit from it will definitely join you.
I'll be super quick. I don't want to take more of your time. So, अगर आप में से कोई भी सुन रहा है, and if you have a journey that you want to be heard, right? आपकी कोई भी journey है, whether you are a male, female, anyone from the LGBTQI community, please reach out to us at Coconut Chats on YouTube. Our email is coconutchats@gmail.com. आप हमें Instagram पे भी ढूंढ सकते हैं, Coconut Chats. If you want to reach out personally to discuss an issue, I'm available on Facebook as Chris Mallika Bhadra. किसी भी माध्यम से आप अगर जुड़ना चाहें, जुड़ सकते हैं. We are more than happy to speak to you, share your journey, and bring it out to the world. So thank you once again. And it's a pleasure. Thank you for having me, Shraddha. Thank you so much.
Thank you so